Today I am going to make scones. This is a recipe I've used before and I've really liked it. The versions I'm doing today are I'm going to do one savory, which will be a hard cheese with some Italian herbs, and then the sweet one will be cranberries. So I'm going to start with the cranberries since they're right here, and I have chopped them up a little more finely.
Okay, so today I will be making pastel de natas, which is a traditional Portuguese egg tart. So first I'm just starting off with measuring all of my ingredients on a baking scale.
I am making French macarons with a chocolate American buttercream and raspberry coulis. So I'm making my mise en place first. I'm making all the smaller ingredients first. I just made my buttercream, American buttercream here, and I'm gonna get ready to make my coulis, and then I'm gonna make the main events, the macarons.
This week, for the International Baked Goods Challenge, I'm making baklava. I don't even know how to really describe it myself. It's really tasty, I know that. Like, I think it's delicious. Like, it's a layered pastry with phyllo dough, nuts, and this sweet syrup.
Okay, so now I'm just putting all my ingredients into the stand mixer, and I will be using this bread attachment. So then what's in here is just plant butter, flour, a little bit of salt, and some water. So I'm just mixing that until the dough doesn't stick to the side of the bowl.
I'm making my coulis. So powdered sugar, raspberries, and then a little bit of lemon juice. And then you gotta strain because you don't want to have any seeds in your coulis.
The way you get them prepared to go into the oven, take your dough and turn it out onto the board and pat it into a round shape, and then we're going to cut it into wedges.
I am heating up honey, sugar, and water right now. And I'm gonna add a cinnamon stick, and I believe some cloves as well. We'll see. This is gonna make kind of that, I guess the sort of the syrupy paste that you get in baklava.
So I already screwed up really bad. I just realized that I accidentally put in the butter into my dough mixture, which was not supposed to happen. The butter is for when I do my layers. The dough is just supposed to be the flour and the water and the salt. So already off to a really great start. I'm gonna have to dump that dough and start over. Okay, so already this dough looks a lot better. It's not sticking really to the bowl anymore, so that's pretty good.
I had no idea it was going to be this hard. It's not hard, it's just tedious. It takes a while. But there's, yeah, I'm almost there, I think.
This is, I don't know if this is like traditional to, or if it's like sacrilege to Greek people, but I, instead of doing, like, I'm gonna add half pound of walnuts, half pound of almonds, and then also half pound of hazelnuts, and see how the hazelnuts work in the baklava, because I really like the baklava that I've had in the past, and I really like pretty much everything I've ever eaten with hazelnuts, so I feel like they'll work together.
Don't worry as much about measure as much as I do just about feel and how to get it in there and what I like. I'm going to add some more of the plant-based parm, because what I have in the other bag is not going to give me enough of a Parmesan flavor. And I would like both the Parmesan cheese and the herbs to be tasted when someone eats the scone.
Okay, so now I have let my dough rest for 15 minutes, and now I'm gonna roll it out with the rolling pin and then do my lamination layers with the butter. So now I have my dough out, and I put butter on 2/3 of it. So now I will take this and I will fold it like so, and then this side on top like that, and then fold it up, get some more flour on my surface, so hopefully that will help it not stick so much. And then I take it here, unfold it, and then I'm gonna roll it out again and put butter on 2/3 of it one more time, and then do that same process of folding it, and then I will put butter on all of it and then roll it up.
It's very important that all these ingredients are very fine. So I am sifting my powdered sugar and get exactly 130 grams sifted.
So I'm gonna start layering the dough. It's very light. It's almost like edible paper.
So now I'm sprinkling in some of the herbs, oregano and basil, and I want to be a little careful with them so that they don't overpower.
So now that my dough is completely rolled, it is chilling in the freezer for about 15 to 20 minutes, and I'm gonna start on the egg custard for the tart. Separating the yolks, because that's the only part of the egg that I'm using in the custard.
It's going pretty good. The hardest part is not to get the peak. Pipe it down, and then when you finish, pull up in a circular motion.
I really don't even know how to handle this, to be honest with you. Huh. That is definitely not what was supposed to happen. Okay. I think I was supposed to thaw it more, but since I'm already working on the other ingredients, I can't really pause now. Seems like I've bitten off more than I could chew in this.
For about 45 minutes. So you can touch the top and nothing comes off.
I'm going to brush the tops of the biscuits. Now, because I am doing this with non-dairy products, I don't know that this will give the same finish to the top of the scones that the cream would. But again, experimentation and learning.
So I brought my milk and cinnamon and vanilla to a boil. So now I'm gonna combine that with my egg mixture. I have to do this very carefully because I don't want it to curdle. So I'm just gonna add a little bit at a time and then stir it.
So I should put in one layer, butter it, and then repeat that 8 times, and then add nuts, add 4 more layers, add more nuts, basically just until the pan is full.
So I've lowered the temperature on my oven by 25 degrees. So instead of 450, they're going in at 425. And I'm going to watch them, and hopefully they'll get a nice even bake and not be so brown on the bottom and whiter on top.
Okay, so now I have taken my dough out of the freezer and I'm just gonna cut it. And then you can kind of see the lamination a little bit. Not really, because the plant butter, I think, doesn't really make it look like that.
Press down with your bare hands, so probably should have done that before adding the butter. I don't want to say it's completely unpleasant. However, I can't say this is my favorite thing that I've ever felt. Okay, my hands are covered in butter. I'm gonna wash them again.
I'm gonna get my coulis out. I had to thicken my coulis because it was a little bit too runny, I thought, for this. Better consistency, more like jam-ish.
Let them cook a little more. They look a little light to me. I've had them in for 13 minutes now. So I think I'm gonna put them in for another 3.
To actually make the shape of the tart, I just take my fingers and dip it in a little bit of water, and then I just press them in. I'm just using a normal cupcake pan as well, so they're gonna be a little bit bigger than like traditional Portuguese custard tarts, I think, but still get the same effect. So as you can see, the water just like really helps it kind of expand, and you just want to create a little pocket so I can pour the custard in.
They're not overly consistent, but I paired them up so that they, you know, got the same size with the same side. If I had it to do over again, I'd probably get a macaron. There's a sheet you can buy, and it makes it more consistent. Not bad looking, huh?
Before they go in the oven, I'm just pouring the custard into each little cupcake pan. I don't want to fill it up too much, but then they will go into the oven at 550 degrees for about 8 to 10 minutes. And I'm gonna put them on the very top shelf because that's what apparently you're supposed to do. Into the oven they go.
Just just removed my first batch of scones from the oven. And they're not quite as browned as I would like on top, but I don't want to leave them in too long and dry them out on the interior. So I've gone ahead and removed them. I'm gonna let them sit on the pan for just a few minutes, and then I'll move them over to the cooling rack.
Okay, so the last step is I'm just adding some powdered sugar to the top of these to serve them, because that's how they are served in Portugal. That's it, I'm done.
Last one. All done.
Well, the power went out because it's storming really badly, and the baklava still had some time left, but not that much. So I just took it out and added the syrup, and hopefully it might be a little bit chewier than baklava normally is, but you know, it looks okay. I don't think it was supposed to get that puffy on top. I think maybe it's because I added too much phyllo dough. But you know what? It looks okay. It looks like it's gonna taste good.
I made for you French macarons with a chocolate buttercream and a raspberry coulis.
I really like the coulis. I kind of wish there was a little bit more of it though.
Of the coulis?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yeah, that particular bite I just took, I got all the chocolate, but I can see that the coulis is going to be in my next bite, so it might just be a little inconsistent. The rimming you did with the chocolate might have been thicker on some parts than others.
It was almost like a 75-25 chocolate to coulis, but maybe it should have been 50-50.
Yeah.
Other than that, your cookies look pretty good. I do see it's trying to have a little bit of a foot there, but it definitely could be a little bit better.
Yep.
I have a savory scone, which has Asiago cheese and some Italian herbs. And I have a sweet scone, which is cranberries. So enjoy.
So are scones Irish or English?
I believe they're English. I want to say that I read that they were originally from Scotland.
Got it.
Which one do you want to try first?
We'll go savory first.
Okay. What kind of fruit is in the sweet one again?
Cranberry.
Okay. I'm not sure if I'm getting a lot of cranberry, personally.
Neither am I. There don't seem to be many cranberries in this scone. Maybe that's just the one that we got. This is very technical, but I think that scones are pretty popularized in the States. So I don't know if critiquing meeting the challenge is like what we are really doing right now, but that was just
That's
like
a good point.
Yeah. They're delicious though, so like I don't want to say it was like a bad choice because they're really, really good. Okay, today I made for you baklava.
I like the hazelnuts in it actually. It adds like a little like chocolatey flavor to it. I really like it. And I think the crust is really good.
I really love it because it's more wet. I've traditionally had more dry, and I like that this is moister.
That's only because, again, the power went out while it was baking, so it wasn't really supposed to come out that way. But I guess I'm glad that you like it.
Today I have made traditional Portuguese tarts, which are called pastel de natas, and they're kind of like an egg custard tart.
When you said tart, I was expecting it to be tart, but it's very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
On the inside.
I will say that the lamination on the shell is really good.
Thank you.
I mean, it's-
Unbelievable the layers of the pastry.
Yeah.
right.
Unbelievable.
The texture's really good. The flavor of it's really good. So I like it.
Yeah.
Very nice, Al. Really good.
Shall we judge?
Yeah.